Apparently, Tom wasn't good enough to provide analytics for me, so we've got something new for you guys today. He was here yesterday, though, but that wasn't with me. Scriv is here with me, and we're starting off with Fragsters, the formerly Fragsters, going up against Virtus Pro. Scriv, what are you feeling for this one?
I think it's going to be kind of an interesting one. Like Ex-Fragsters had a period where, when they were in the organization, they looked really good and they were kind of up and comers, and obviously Refresh being in there was really good for them. And now they've kind of lost that, and things have started to slip a little bit. They can still frag pretty well. They still look pretty good, but up against VP again, another sort of unknown entity in terms of how they're going to perform. So give me like 5 or 6 rounds, then maybe I can give you a bit of a better idea, to be honest.
So basically, you have no idea. All right, then. We're starting off well. Dragonfly is starting off pretty well, too, because he's got Nautilus on his side, and they've both got one apiece. Now, VP have got those 2 players on utility, so they're going to be massively disadvantaged for the rest of this round. Already, though, 5 versus 3 isn't really the best place to be. Now, Lom, keep your eyes on him because he could be on the hot seat. The bomb is positioned towards him, but he's been spotted out and he backs off immediately. Might be calling for some help, and indeed, Nautilus will be making his way over.
Yeah, like you say, it's going to be quite hard for them to get back into this round, I think. The utility can be useful, but only really when you have all 5. There was a good bit of aggression from Ex-Fragsters. 3 players down there. I mean, even if you lose 1 or 2, you're most likely going to get the trades and still come out on top. So it was well thought out, and obviously the execution was really good as well. It's fairly simple. Maybe they had a bit of a read on what Virtus Pro like to do in their Mirage pistols, and they kind of ripped them apart early on. And I think now, again, it's going to be really hard for Virtus Pro to come back from this. But we'll see the utility coming in towards the A bomb site, and we'll see whether they can pull it off.
Well, here they go, 25 seconds on the clock, and like you said, utility has been expended. Bomb might be planted, but there's a couple of players on the other side. Dragonfly not really blocked off by that smoke, so he can move forward. Doesn't stop the bomb from being planted, so it's still doable for VP. And at the very least, they do guarantee themselves money. Bayali up there in the back with that one flashbang, throws it out, tries to take the peek, gets 1, looking for 2, but Mihu will be left alone versus 1 with that. Now, this could be interesting. The smoke's been dropped, so Mihu has to try and maybe shoot his way through. Blind, but he just jumps out, and Lom will take him down. Fragsters with a comfortable little retake, even though they did allow the bomb to be planted, despite Dragonfly not being blocked off by that smoke. He couldn't really land those shots, and at the end of the day, VP get away with money, but nothing more.
Yeah, I suppose getting the bomb down in that scenario, like you say, is kind of lucky, if anything. So I think it was reasonably well done. The best of a bad situation, so to speak, and now they're going to try and go for something similar here. 5 smokes coming out, a few upgraded pistols, but looking to buy up in the next round and looking to make it a bit more comfortable for them by getting this bomb down here once again. We'll see, though. They're just going to run the clock down, maybe try and catch off some aggression, baiting out a bit of utility towards middle. For the most part, the CTs are going to be set up and ready for this in pretty advanced positions. This hit to come through could be quite deadly. Flash is holding them back and might draw time for rotations, reactions. But the superior weaponry here at the CT side, you would expect them to just be able to rip it apart, and it's beautifully done by Nodios here. Not a single kill comes through, very little damage done by Virtus Pro, and a fast second for Ex-Fragsters.
Yeah, fun little 1-2 play where Dragonfly is playing around the smoke area where it does land near the stairs. No, just playing the off-angle / ninja spot that you do have near the fireboxes, which allows him to be able to come in from the side. They're distracted by Dragonfly. A nice little 1-2 punch lets them get away with no casualties on the CT side. VP now, though, they've got their full buy up, and they're looking to get a bit quicker this time around, getting some more map control as they do proceed in towards A main, but don't look like they're planning on committing, especially with Torben going as heavily into mid as he has. Mihu might take this as a sign, though, as they move out, but Dragonfly's already found one more. Mihu keeps on going, but Mihu won't be finding anything until finally Dragonfly reveals himself and will be taken down. Snacks with a long-range nade will get another, as Torben does hit the deck. 3 versus 3 retakes on, but VP, they've got some utility. Maybe not as much as they would like, though. Mihu forcing out that player to come forward, but Nautilus has been pushed back instead. So Fragsters They're in a rough situation, especially if Staben gets caught out in the back line, which is exactly what happens. Mihook takes him down, and now Lom and Nodios underneath heavy pressure to take charge. Nodios could be taken down. He sees a T reveal himself, expecting a man behind him, but instead it snacks around the corner. Nodios almost getting two, but Bialy cleans it up. Now in a 1v1 with Lom in pursuit. Lom's got a kid, but Lom doesn't have time. He can't get this bomb defused out, and it will go off. Bialy barely makes it happen for Virtus Pro.
Very, very close indeed. It's such a shame there in the end for Ex-Fragsters. They get all the kills, but obviously not in time. So it was well done early on from them. A lot of CTs will find themselves in that scenario where coming into the first gun round with the way that the economy works at the moment, you'll have a weaker buy than your opponent. So the best way to compensate for that is to take the initiative, get aggressive, find an early kill, and that's exactly what they do on Tao. Unfortunately, a few little bits of unfortunate utility that comes through, and I suppose some nice individual play as well. It opens up pretty well for them, but they are straight back into things here on the Ex-Fragsters side, and once again, VP, some questionable solo plays coming through. It cost them 2 men early on.
And this is a recurring theme, it seems, Kriv, because again and again, Fragsters are finding the opening pick and then the subsequent pick as well, somehow or the other. And hopefully, this doesn't become the story of the game. But Virtus Pro, they've decided to slow things down, throw out some utility. Twao peeks out, but Staven gets away, and that means Nodios has a chance, but that chance will be cut short as more players are coming from the side. Staben does get one, so it is a 2 versus 4. Snatchy and Bialy once again against the world, and already the world is crumbling. Staben's down, Bialy gets one more, and now it's all on to Snatchy to try and get the bomb plant in, but he's not got much HP to work with. They're trying to spray through the crates. But they know that they don't have numbers. Bialy's got to make this a 4K, and he's got 3. Lom's the only one that stands between him and this round victory. He's already clutched 1 out. Can it be 2? Lom right around the corner. Bialy's got it!
Man alive, that is beautiful stuff from him. They just give him far too many opportunities. It would seem he's in full swing here this evening. Really, really good stuff coming in from Bialy. Obviously, it's still been playing Counter-Strike, but been in and out of the Virtus Pro lineup recently. But he seems right back at home. I suppose all that PUBG paying off.
Oh, yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, incredible stuff, right? It's so hard to account for that on the Ex-Fragsters side as well. And now they'll be forced right onto the eco due to the fact that, you know, they lost everybody in the 3rd round, and then obviously lost the 4th round there. So pretty difficult stuff.
Skriv, do you ever feel like you've lost everybody?
No, to be fair. I always have...
That's good.
You know, someone, like a parent or a close friend.
That's good. It's good to hear, Skriv. I'm glad to hear that. But you know what else I'm glad to hear? This round isn't as one-sided as I might have thought. Lom picks up an AK. He's got himself a Molotov as well, whatever he'd like to do with that. But in the meanwhile, Torben, well, he's creeping over to the B site, but this is where things get tricky. There's a man, well, 3 men, coming down catwalk over towards B. Torben creeping around, and VP's setup could be problematic. Instead, though, those 3 men, they've decided the A side is theirs for the taking, and Lom is waiting over here. So if he gets this one, if he can take down Snacks without copping too much damage, it would be interesting. And meanwhile, Nodios goes down through Death Alley, and it will be followed up with another on Torben. So suddenly, all the interest is taken away once again, and we are back to a point where Fragsters have managed to get away a gun, which isn't too bad given the round, but would have liked to do a bit more damage, force a few more players to rebuy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good summing up, to be fair. You do hope for a bit more, and I think a lot of people that play this game don't quite realize how much of an upgrade USP to P250 is, and it's a very small price that you have to pay, and obviously if you get 1 kill, it's 100% return on investment, and also it drops, I would say, what, like $4,000 to $5,000 worth of equipment if they've still got all their utility for the opposite side that you take down. So some teams kind of do go for eco strategies just to try and find that. You know, I've seen Obviously on Train, there's quite a good one. On Inferno, there's quite a good one where you can just kind of stack up. But there is on Mirage, some teams like to sit in connector and hope that they can catch a couple players off guard. You know, you have all your angles being held. But sometimes they just see it as a runaway, throwaway round, and it's just, oh, not the best. But that is a great start. Nodios going to take down 2. And suddenly VP find themselves on the back foot once again.
Well, VP's pretty used to being on the back foot at this point. It's practically home soil for them, as they are going to be in a 2 versus 3, as they have been for pretty much the majority of this game, it seems like. Lom, though, can get lucky, and luck is not on his side, as Twao will take him down, expecting the push to come down from the Fragsters player. It's happened before, and he can upgrade his weaponry, but unfortunately can't upgrade his quality of life, as he will be brought down. Generally pretty important thing to consider. Snatchy, bomb in hand, Molotov and flashbang to go. So utility's not looking bad and time's looking even better. 45 seconds so he can clear out all these angles safely and securely. Doesn't need to care too much about that one, though. Staven, close enough that he should be able to hear the bomb being planted, and that's where he can take charge and move over if he needs to do so. Now, bomb is going to go down. Staven, for some reason, still thinks it might be over towards A, so he hears the Molotov being thrown forward. That gives Snatchy enough space to get into a nice little off angle, but he doesn't realize they're coming from the other side. That said, though, I think Staven made some noise, so Snatchy's got a good idea, and Snatchy's idea is as great as anyone else's. Turns it into a 1v1, looking for more, got the info, but Torben isn't revealing himself just quite yet. They're still dancing the dance of death, but Snatchy might come out on top in this tango. He's getting another bullet through, and Torben on the other side, confused as can be, and he's gonna keep confused in the grave. 4-2, Virtus Pro, clutch after clutch. Scriv, this is disturbing.
Yeah, a little bit. Ex-Fragsters seemingly shaky in some of these scenarios, nervous perhaps, you know, the panic sets in, and just not ready. A lot of these VP players are very aggressive when it comes to the clutch situations. They will take those risky peaks, and 9 times out of 10 at the moment, it seems they are landing the shots, so you really have to account for that. It's difficult to rely on individuals to constantly pop off and win you clutches, but if it is working, and if you have, you know, 2 or 3 of them that certainly can do, I think Virtus Pro might just be able to keep stealing away rounds and keep forcing the ecos from Ex-Fragsters, as we see here once again. Dragonfly going to fall early on at the top end of middle, but advancement towards ramp will find an AK, and Nodios has got armor, so 4 versus 4 that suddenly looks a bit more dangerous for Virtus Pro.
Well, I mean, it's where they thrive, apparently, so I wouldn't really say anything about it yet. Staven's in a good position. Oh, never mind. Never mind, Scriv. Take it all back. Nodios is alone in a 1v3, but he's got Kevlar. You know what? We've seen a few clutches from Virtus Pro this time. It might be time for Nodios, because as I say that, Twao gets himself away to safety. Nodios chucks out a smoke. It'll be giving him some cover, but unfortunately, smokes aren't walls, even if you do call it a wall of smokes. Nodios still hunting around. Gotta be careful, because Twao is feeling lucky, and he does get lucky indeed. The 1v3 going the way of Virtus Pro, no matter what side they're on, apparently.
Now it starts to become a bit more dangerous here for Ex-Fragsters. If they cannot start to pick up rounds, I think Virtus Pro are quite easily going to run away with this half, to be honest. There's a double up setup. It's something new. Perhaps it can work out. Unfortunately, they're already going to have lost a man in towards middle. At least Dragonfly with the advanced position will be able to find a return onto Viali. Snatchy on the edge of the smoke, pushes through. Nodios is ready for it. Smokes have been fixed, but still very difficult to run through. That is for damn sure. We'll see now how VP recover this one back.
It's always a good question to ask in this game, it seems like. How is VP going to recover this back? Because it seems like it's practically inevitable. Mihu's got that up, so keep an eye on him. But the man who's making the masses move and shake is Nax, who's got the bomb. Creeping through, A site seems to be their destination, where they will be met by Dragonfly, so they have to be careful. Nonetheless, Dragonfly Needs to be wary, but knows that there's no one coming from Palace, so he can feel a little bit more safe. As he is peeking through, gets a first, and now he's seen the bomb as well. Re-peeks out for 2, and it could be 3, as Twao will show himself, but Twao gives himself a fighting chance. Picks up the AK once again, flashbang behind to provide some cover, but Nordius takes advantage of that thrown flash and stabs him in the back.
Well, like I said, it was a pretty important round for Ex-Fragsters, and they managed to get it on the board. It's fairly costly. They will have to spread the wealth, and there's not much left in the coffers. If they get reset here, it's a really good opportunity for VP to once again continue to extend the lead, continue controlling this first half. But it is a shining light, it would seem. Oh, there's a fluffed Molotov from Lom. Wouldn't really have made too much of a difference. They're not rushing B, but all the same, it's a complete waste of utility. And again, just shows that nervousness, the panic that they seem to have right now on the Danish side.
Some would say I too am a complete waste of utility, but Lom now, he's keeping an eye out with the AUG. He's got one, needs to duck away, he knows that the bench might not be serving enough as cover, so he re-peeks out and gets a second. Starvin in the meanwhile does take down Snacks, and that leaves it in a 5 versus 2 with no Beali alive, so maybe things aren't going to be as cheerful for Virtus Pro in this clutch scenario as they were in the past, especially with Mihu going down. Nashi, last man to fall, and that was a fantastic round coming out from Lom, getting 3 kills from the bench position using that AUG.
Well, it would seem that Virtus Pro have been kind of stopped here. The plow not quite as effective as it once was. Oh, so many years ago. They will not be able to continue this tear, and I'm going to have to eco this one out. So, Ex-Fragsters seemingly going to even the scoreline up. I mean, it's Glocks. If they lose to this one, I don't know what I'll do, to be honest. It'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good bounce back from the Danes. They've not had to use a pause yet either. So it's just kind of showing that some slight adaptations in places, a lot of AUGs, and maybe a double up setup is what they needed to bring in to change things. It's now on VP to figure out what they need to change. And maybe, again, like I said a bit earlier on, T-Time, you know, relying on those individuals can be very costly in places because it's hard to replicate that going into rifle rounds with, you know, full team play in full flow when it's like, oh, well, it's a 1v3, we might win it, we're going to have to, you know, let that particular individual pop off, and that's our win condition. It's really not reliable is what I'm trying to say, so hopefully they can change things up.
Well, I mean, they've got some time to think about it, honestly. This is pretty much just a one-sided affair, easily cleaning up the Glocks, keeping all 5 players alive. They can go for the double up if they want to, but something tells me that's not going to be on the itinerary. They've got a lot of money. They actually didn't use that much utility in the previous round either, so they're all above 5,000. This is worrying for Virtus Pro because they themselves are not quite as healthy as far as the dollars go.
Well, let's see where they go with this. It's lacking in utility, but definitely could be workable here. Flash to going towards middle, just buying a bit of time, really, is VP trying not to give anything away right now, but there's a bit of a gap in this smoke. Gonna boost up, but it's Stavin to spot out the head of Twao. He will take him down pretty easily there, and it's into a 5-on-4 very early on in favor of the Danes. Really good find by Stavin in the middle, and he's not going to reface. He's just going to back away and maybe even concede mid-control to them because, you know, why not? I mean, you've got the advantage. You can give up a bit of control.
This is interesting, though. They've given up a lot of control for Mihu, actually, to make his way over towards the connector, and they don't really have anyone in position to be able to watch out for him. So Mihu could very well take complete control of his site. This man advantage could be very deceptive, as Mihu will be looking to move in soon enough as he makes his way forward. And through into the side, sees one, gets it done, turns around, knows Dragonfly's probably right behind him. Nautilus has had a few shots bumped into him, but he's able to keep himself alive. Lom finally taking down Mihu, and that leaves Snacks alone versus 4. Snacks, though, in this position, he could maybe catch Dragonfly out if Dragonfly wants to keep on pushing, but he knows he can't turn tail and run because the vents breaking will reveal his position now. Snacks, gotta be careful. 8 seconds left on the clock. Dragonfly does get dropped, and the AWP picked up for a rainy day. And these days are probably gonna be fairly rainy, honestly. They don't have money.
Yeah, he does manage to survive there, so no worst case scenario. Obviously, you get 0 loss bonus if you survive past time as a terrorist. But they aren't going to go around this, so I kind of respect that. They're not going to heavily force around it. Some teams would, you know, and that would be a decision that I would not necessarily agree with. But we'll see. Maybe Snacks can pop off. A couple years ago, definitely could be possible. He's certainly dropped in form more recently, but there's still flashes of hope in places. And perhaps he can take control of this round. It's a very slim chance, I feel, but all the same, you know, there is that possibility. Cannot write it off.
On the bright side, Fragsters did manage to really translate an early few pickoffs into a round victory, which was a long time coming. It's nice to see over there. But Virtus Pro, despite their miraculous performances from individual players, they are looking fairly poorly as far as the half goes. Now, Nautilus coming in from behind, might find a few, looks for one, does get it, but now it comes down to whether or not Dragonfly can keep any assailants off. You're expecting a connector take. Nautilus has been flashed out. Nice grenade. Will be doing a lot of damage, but not quite as much as I expected. Still, though, decent enough for slowing them down. Mihu gets a chance to take down Dragonfly, and now they've got 2 ops to work with. Nautilus, in the meanwhile, is given some space to come in for a kill. Torben gets one as well before being taken down by Mihu, who keeps himself alive, and Stavan might be caught out because of that. Mihu turns around, knows there's a man coming in from CT, but Nautilus is the problem child who's all the way up in Palace. They don't need to keep an eye out for him yet, but these 2 ops that are still alive are proving to be hell on earth. Lom, though, keeps an eye out, takes down Snacks, and now Mihu's alone. Mihu knows exactly where Lom is, but he needs to get this kill through the crate, rather. But doesn't look like that'll be possible. Mihu does get away. Will he be able to get away to safety, though? Doesn't look like it. The plywood just not enough cover.
We will eventually stem the bleeding with that one. It was slightly scary in places, to be fair. Virtus Pro, you know, they do some really good damage there, but I think with the way that Ex-Fragsters has been stringing them together, they're obviously still going to have quite a bit of money, as you can see. But the bomb plant, a few extra kills, it gives them some extra cash coming into this round. But those AWPs in a scenario like that can be very, very dangerous. They have so much freedom because it is one of those rounds that maybe you're not expected to win, so you can take more aggressive peaks and not really have to care so much about, you know, what your teammates are doing. It very nearly, you know, worked out for them in a lot of places. Stavan, up close and personal, will land the tag onto tower, not going to drop back properly. So kind of baiting things out there a little bit, but no kill coming through as yet, T-Time, just a few early exchanges.
Well, thanks for saying that.
Too soon.
Because that's our first kill. What is it with casters and being wrong all the time, Scriv? Why are we like this?
Caster's curse, mate. I believe they call it.
I mean, they also call it noob scrub caster get off stream. But sure, let's go with the nicer one.
True, true.
Virtus Pro, though. They're giving us a run for our money in terms of being wrong in the calls, because they seem to be going towards B, which is where there's a fantastic setup from Lom and Stavan, both of them covering each angle. Stavan's going to be the first one, but he misses the shot. And that might be all the signal Virtus Pro needs to run away, but Lom is over here to save the day. He reveals himself, but moves out for more. He only gets one, though, and Bialy keeps himself alive to try and keep on being the monster that he has been so far in this game. Torben, though, well, he's a little bit farther away. Stavan, though, is a man who manages to take down everyone in the round.
That's Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Again, that's very hard to account for, you know, the individual, but great shots coming through and fantastic flicks being landed as well. It seems this tear that Ex-Fragsters are on is not going to stop until we swap over Virtus Pro. Like I say, they've been red and they are struggling to change things up. Something I think a lot of teams can really fall flat to is kind of what is going wrong? What do we need to change? That's an aggressive peak from Stavin, though. That does give an opportunity over towards the Polish side.
Well, that opportunity is not going to be long for this world as Lom gets down and gets two. Bomb has been dropped as well because for some reason they thought it was a good idea to take it forward first. I don't know what's going on with that one, but I know that Dragonfly is not letting them proceed any further than he needs to. Lom as well, scouting out the last man, who's Twao. Well, Twao can't see him being long for this world, especially with utility raining in towards him as it is. Now, Lom and Dragonfly are pretty low, so maybe he can get something done, but it's a big maybe. He's got time, but no utility. Lom, be careful. You're playing with fire. Don't get burnt. Twao moving through, not sure what to do. As he knows there's a couple of players on the other side, all of them guarding the bomb. Dragonfly is watching his back though, so that means if he win the duel against Torben, maybe something is possible. But does he realize that? Dragonfly knows his position now. Flashbangs avoided. He could be seeing a few of these players. Dragonfly though does finish him off. 9-5. Fragsters look dominant and Virtus Pro looks poor in play and in economy.
Yeah, it's been a tough end to this first half for them. Like I said, it's just a very one-dimensional style. They rely a lot on those individuals to win some early rounds, and because obviously Ex-Fragsters is starting on the CT side, they got some good resets in, some good breaks of the economy, because it is very hard to get that CT economy rolling initially. But with the Orgs coming through and how strong they are at the moment, especially on Mirage, for me, I feel like it is one of the best maps, if not the best map, to pull the Orgs out on. Yeah, nice opener though coming in from Nodios. Again, they've got so much confidence right now on the Ex-Fragsters side. Certainly. Okay, Miyu.
What confidence?
Maybe that's going to shake him a little bit. We'll see here. Miyu is taking this round by the tail right now as he rips them apart. Will get caught off guard by the player in at Tetris, but I think this round pretty much done for Ex-Fragsters. It's all going to be down to Lom coming in from Connector. Snacks will eventually get the
Mihu's
bottom
done.
in.
Well, ooh, almost stopped that. That could have been big, but unfortunately, Mihu is bigger. Cleans up that round. Virtus Pro get to 6, but don't let the score deceive you. Fragsters have been looking like the convincingly dominant team so far.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that one's a little bit of a fluky. Again, relying on the individual, relying on that crazy little 3K that comes through from Mihu to just rip open the round, you know, and everyone else can work off of that. You just work the mathematical advantage and ultimately take the round because of it. So we'll see. The CT side is a little bit harsher. You can't play as aggressive, you know, especially on your own. Coordinated aggression, big fan, but solo aggression, not so much. And obviously you've got that economy that's a little bit harder to deal with. I think VP, if they don't get off to a good start here, T-Time, this could be a bit of a walkover from Ex-Fragsters.
Well, that's what Fragsters is looking for, but Virtus Pro, they're looking for aggression. They've got 5 Kevlars, and Mihu says, I don't care about Kevlars. All I care about is the headshots I'm getting right now. Same for Twao as he looks for 2. Beautiful shot coming through. Beali as well from the side takes down one more, leaving Lom alone to die on the floor. 9-7, Virtus Pro take it away.
Well, maybe that is the start that they needed. We'll see with what comes in with the buy. Obviously no bomb plant there for Ex-Fragsters either, so it's a bit of a rough start for them. Just stomach this one, buy up in the next. I think that is the best way to play it. Keep the pressure on as much as possible, as early as possible. Maybe they can get a bomb plant here. A couple of kills perhaps would be nice as well. We'll have to see. But with no utility and just a couple P250s, I don't really see them having much of a chance. Run boost, though. Always nice to see. There's no one there. it's a bit useless.
Well, he pretty much summed up my tossing career there, but Snacks and Bialy move through, find a few. Wow, that is very fast. Lom did find one there, so he got a quick punch before being completely destroyed by bullets. So there's that. That was a quick round. Virtus Pro. Seems like tactics aren't what's needed when you're against ecos. You just need your SMGs to really show up, get money, get kills, and get some confidence up.
Eagle is interesting. From Dragonfly. I'm pretty sure it could have afforded an AK. So I guess maybe he just wanted to pull the utility. He's still got 1,300 in the bank. So a bit weird, but maybe they'll make it work. He uses all that utility in the middle very early on as well. So perhaps that was what he was designed for here in this setup. But as yet, again, it's a slow start. Ex-Fragsters looking to speed things up. They will put a bit of pressure over towards B, but again, not quite dedicating to it. I think the boost up through window had come in there, and Snack's going to be able to deal with it. Snatchy! Beautiful shots from him. Didn't see a great deal of the AWP on that T side, but of course he is known for it here on the CT side, and certainly showing Ex-Fragsters who's boss early on. Very quick round, and it looks like they're going to secure their 9th.
Pretty much summed it up right there. You know, it's a very quick round when the analyst managed to analyze and cast over the entirety of the round within the span of 10 seconds because he's trying to find a way to hand it off nicely.
Yeah.
But no, fantastic stuff from VP, bringing it back very quickly. And Fragsters looking fragmented. I said Scriv. That's
yeah,
cute.
I feel I'm not gonna indulge you in that one. It's a cheap shot.
Well,
but
you know,
it's true though. It is true. It is true. To be fair, all jokes aside.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mihu though, he just jumps down, gets taken down as well. 3 versus 2. Nautilus and Dragonfly are actually in a pretty decent position to get some damage done. Dragonfly could maybe get down. Wow, he's in a good position. He's really good with these deagles, but he misses the shot that he needed to land. Now looking for more as he re-peeks out, but might not be given it. Flashbang through. Shouldn't be too much to deal. And Snatchy does finish him off. 10-9. Virtus Pro keeping 3 players alive, keeping their money flowing. Mihu was on 10k, so it's not the biggest of deals that he dies. So even after rebuying, they will be looking set for a few more rounds.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good. It's certainly not what I expected coming into it. I thought they were going to fall flat very quickly, but they've bounced back really well, and their CT side looking very clean. Now they've got 2 AWPs in play. And things looking difficult for Ex-Fragsters. They need to figure out what is going wrong and fast, because Virtus Pro are on a tear right now. They're just ripping them apart. They've got such a strong economy early on, apart from Snacks, I suppose, who invested in the AWP in this round, but they'll be able to stomach a loss or two. At this point, it looks like that's not going to happen. Again, Ex-Fragsters, very little control gained early on. Snacks, of course, going to go creeping forwards and will get taken down. There's the solar aggression I was talking about, and it does not work out. There's no opportunity for a trade. They've lost so much control over on A, and now it's going to shake things up in a very bad way for Virtus Pro. They have to recover that missing man now on the A site.
And now it's all on Bialy. Fragsters very ready to go for a full execute. With 40 seconds left on the clock, they're going to need to speed it up very much. But that's where things get tricky, because Twao and Bialy are both in great positions to just get that 1 kill each that they need to completely lock down this site, allowing the retake to happen from VP. But Snatchy's been taken down on the other side of the map. Bialy knows they're coming here though. He's far too wise, but unfortunately he's not wise enough. Staven turns around, takes him down. Twao now left on the site and brought down as well. Mihu, the last one to fall. The bombs planted post-mortem, and it's a 10-10 scoreline as Fragsters makes it to double digits.
Well, they will recover their round back that they needed. See it time and time again. As soon as the lead comes under heavy contention, the pressure is on. It looks like it's all going to slip away. The team that is, down and out by the looks of things, bounce back and manage to even things back up or even take the lead back. Now we've got a pause coming through, and I think it is just to allow VP a bit of room. Where are they going to send these double AWPs, spread the cash across as well, as again, like I mentioned, Snacks was a lot poorer than the rest of his teammates. So this will run the coffers dry coming in to round number 21 here. We'll have to see. It could go either way. This is a really key round right here, to be honest, T-Time, coming into the latter stages of this game. I think Ex-Fragsters could get reset. They've got a bit of money in the bank, but it would look good for Virtus.pro to, not allow another streak of rounds to come through. Or you've got Virtus.pro's economy being broken, and that can be very difficult to deal with late in the game on the CT side with very little money to speak of would be not great, put it that way. It would be very difficult for them to bounce back, I think, and that's when mental fortitude and all that good stuff starts coming into play as well. So a really key round here for both teams.
Fragsters are making the right call too. They're going over towards B where they're just 12, but he's got 1, he's got 2, but he's been brought to the ground, to the floor, to his knees, and Lom, well, unfortunately for the side of Fragsters, Lom went with them. Oh dear, that is a...
Yeah.
You know how I said it's a good idea to go B? I lied.
I mean, in theory, I think what they wanted to go for there was, the execute, but then to go ahead of the smokes. It's something that we sometimes see on the A site. Obviously, Mirage having been around for so very long, there's many different things that you can do, and unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. This round, they're going to go for a fast ramp rush, and look at all that nade damage that comes through. We'll manage a couple of kills, but there's always someone there on the CT side to make sure the trade comes in. This is actually a really clean CT side so far from VP, and I'm happy to see. Certainly been working on it by the looks of things. Dragonfly finds himself in a 1 versus 3. He does pick up the first, but the next two very spread and happy to let him get the bomb plant.
I don't know about that. Honestly, Mihu's coming in from behind. They might not let him get that bomb plant after all. Dragonfly chose to drop the bomb over there. Now, he does have a flashbang and an incendiary. So, at the very least, it's a bit of something to work with. Mihu's going over to Palace. Dragonfly very much in the open. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Snatchy will be peeking out to him soon. Dragonfly is expecting him to maybe make his way over to mid. But Snatchy thinks that it might be B. Now, they haven't realized that he doesn't have the bomb, so that's what they're waiting for. Dragonfly knows he needs to go back and reclaim it as well, but he's just clearing out all the angles possible. 30 seconds, he's really cutting it close to the wire, and Mihu's more than comfortable to stay up here in Palace and just swing out when he hears the bomb being planted. Dragonfly, 20 seconds on the clock. He does have that Molotov. Maybe he can throw it into Palace just to make sure, but doesn't look like that's his plan. And now he's made noise, and now Mihu knows, and Mihu comes in from the side, and he will be able to finish him off. 12-10 Virtus.pro. Slightly sloppier this time around, but regardless, they make it work.
Yeah, certainly true. Again, they are continuing to look good here. I don't think the double AWP setup's going to come back into play. Got a Bison. Something you don't often see, just because, the MP9 is probably better and is a hell of a lot cheaper. Suppose he will quite easily make quick work of them here, and obviously going for an aggressive push. And it's that run and gun of the Bison that just rips them apart. Love to see it. But the thing is, the MP9 pretty much would have paid for itself by now, whereas he's got to get one more, really, to make that Bison really worthwhile. Great shot coming in from Nodios, but at the end of the day, what is it going to be worth? Not much. As the 13th comes through, VP seemingly set to take this one here, to be honest. T-Time, Ex-Fragsters T-side needs some work, to say the least.
I remember the first time I saw the statistics of a Bison in the game, and this was like the first time I ever played Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I was just like, wow, this is exactly like a P90. Why do more people not buy this? And then it turned out that, the P90 just has higher armor penetration, and I never actually looked at that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a stat early on you don't quite pay much attention.
Yeah, I have fond memories of those days. Regardless, we've got lots of fond memories from back in Virtus Pro's heyday, but to be honest, this is looking pretty good from them, and looks promising to say the least. Now, whether they can replicate this or whether they can continue doing this, well, we'll have to wait to find out. Wow, looking good. That's right, that smoke. Interestingly thrown. I haven't seen that one before. The grenade won't be doing any damage to Staven, but Fragsters, they have managed to whittle down the utility of VP pretty substantially. Snatchy blocked down in mid as well. So Fragsters have done a good job of choking them out so far. Can still go for an execute over towards A. They've got the 2 smokes they need to block off stairs and CT if that's what they want to go for.
Yeah,
Keep watching Mihu though. He's got a chance and he's been had. Lom takes him down, expecting the man up in the ladder room area. Bialy and a good old secret as he waits for players to come his way. 30 seconds left as it's ticking down. Bialy will be taken down as well, along with that clock. Now 2 versus 4. 12 long range, almost takes down the bomb planter, but again and again we're seeing in this game that the bomb planter barely gets away after planting the bomb. We've seen a few clutches actually that could have gone the other way had that not been the case.
Yeah, it's very true actually. Just a little thing, I suppose. Maybe some people going for aggressive peaks, and the thing with Mirage, especially that A-bomb side, there's so many different areas you can plant the bomb, and also so many different areas you can get a sight line on the bomb planter, right? But Virtus Pro, the money not really great. I mean, Snatchy's got loads for whatever reason. I suppose been surviving a fair amount in the past few rounds, so they might be able to spread the wealth here because of that. Actually, I think someone. Actually, Mihu's got money to buy. Yeah, I think they should be fine here. So, an 11th comes through for Ex-Fragsters, but the 2 players remaining on the save are actually really going to help Virtus Pro out here. And possibly something that Ex-Fragsters have not accounted for is the fact that there's going to be another buy coming through. But, you know, playing it safe, obviously, at this point, no one wants to put a foot wrong. They've got to perform here. They've got to keep this up. Because if they get reset in this round, I think it is pretty much over for them in all honesty. And that is a great opener. Dragonflight on the AWP. It's kind of flitted recently on the Ex-Fragsters side between him and Staven, I've noticed, in some of the games. Certainly that's what they have for the double AWP setup, but even so, when there's only one in play, it does swap hands quite often.
Did you see that nade onto Lom? That was huge. Down at 62.
Huge.
Straight to his... Yeah. Don't make that joke over here. Bialy. In the connector. He's put again and again into these really key positions where... Alright, fine, on T side he was looking amazing, but right now he's leaving something wanting, I'm not gonna lie. Now... Could be caught out, but I don't know if Fragsters will check this properly. There's not that much time, and they don't do it, so Bialy had a chance, but unfortunately that's not really utilized. Snacks does find one, but he has to keep on making the work happen. In the meanwhile, Snatchy's on the side, trying to prevent the bomb from being planted. It does make its way over, though. He finds a man from behind. Dragonfly taken down, and he moves through. He's looking for 4, but he won't get it. Snacks and Twown instead left to clean up after Snatchy's already done the majority of the work, and Twa will be more than capable of doing so. 13-11, soon to go to 14. Fragsters reset and probably could say goodbye to the game.
Maybe. I think with this bomb plant and looking at the money that they have, they will have another opportunity to buy up here. Just, obviously, as you can see, Staven lagging behind quite heavily, but I mean, what is the plan here? Are they going to try and win 4 in a row because Staven can't buy, or are they going to go all in? I think that's what they're talking about, yeah, and a pause to come through. I mean, Staven's already bought armor, so I guess they are going to buy up with the pause coming through because obviously they want to win this round, get the reset straight back onto VP, and then try and edge things closer towards at least an even scoreline. But yeah, I think the way that things have been going, this T-side has not looked great. They've won a couple rounds, but as soon as they do, they get reset. And that kind of tells me that maybe in places they are getting slightly lucky, or it's more Virtus Pro making mistakes, and it's like, right, if we don't do that again, we're going to win the next round. If we don't go for an early peak on our own, Snacks, you know, we're gonna win the round. if we just play together and work off of an opening pick. And they've also come back from a few rounds where they've lost the opening pick. So VP really in control of this game, really in control of their game, and maybe they can keep up the trend.
So what you're saying that if VP loses the opening pick, they win the round, and if they win the opening pick, they win the round. So they have a 100% win rate for this round when they've lost it, so they've already got this round in the bag. Mihu going down over there just guarantees his team's victory. He is a team player if I've ever seen one. Is this why they don't hire me for analysis desks?
No, I think it's probably not 100% possible. I can see what you're sort of getting at, but it's more like they are able to recover back most of the time. But I don't think statistically it works 100% of the time, I have to be honest. As you can see, I mean, this is how it goes. Bialy just gets an aggressive peek in, and then they try so very desperately on the Ex-Fragsters side to pick the pieces back up. Yeah, the damage is so high right now. But Staven coming in from behind.
Bialy still at that hot spot. Staven should be able to catch him out, and indeed he does. He keeps on going. He's got 2 for himself. Snacks and Twao. Once again, the same 2 players, but this time against a lot more than just one. And suddenly Twao left in a 1v4, and he disproves the theory. He disproves the formula, and he tells us there is no such thing as a 100% win rate. Unless you're Astralis and Nuke, in which case, you know, you're the ultimate outlier. See, now that they've got USPs, maybe this is where it starts coming into play, you know?
This is what I was going to say. I think it's one of those very important kind of rounds that they needed to win. So, and they get that reset in, and now it's giving them a really good opportunity back into the game, to be honest.
I believe in VP, man. I believe in VP. Though, to be fair, this is what every fan felt like back in the days when their roster was really doing poorly. It felt like they were constantly on USP.
Pretty much.
Not gonna lie, I do miss that lineup though. 2017 Epicenter, the grandest tournament ever.
Yeah, I mean...
That's a lie, by the way. The grandest tournament ever is the one that's happening on your screens right now. The Mountain Dew League right here. Bialy, well, he's the man of the hour, and the hour is finished. Keeps on going. Peeking out cheekily. He's about to be converged on from all sides, though, by Fragsters. This can't end well for him. Doesn't even wait for that. Gets taken down immediately by Naudios, who keeps on going for more. 2 more players left, and both of them incredibly spread apart. So at the very most you can hope for is the B250 from Mihu coming through, getting a few. And well, one will be there, so it pays for itself. And Snacks quite far away, but you never know. Maybe you can find a headshot onto Dragonfly or Naudios. Both of those would be immediately taken down. A lot of... Actually, this is a great position. Naudius is right in front of him. Snacks, go for it. Well, he tried. It's an ace from Naudius against the USBs.
Beautiful stuff. Do love to see it. The Eco Warrior. But, yeah, this is kind of the make or break. This is a really... will decide how things are to go, to be honest. Here, whether... of falls by the wayside, whether VP throw the lead away, or whether Ex-Fragsters will kind of be put back in their place at this point. The pause again coming through, respect this, and love to see it from teams as well, using their pauses effectively and readily. Some fall flat. I'm going to go for the safe play on this one, T-Time. There is certainly money to buy up, but not comfortably in all places. So they are just going to back off and kind of just pick up a few pistols, a bit of utility, try and make that work. So very, very safe play coming in from Birdsbro.
Well, you never know. Those P250s. That interesting Molotov from Torben. Interesting shots from Torben as well. Torben's not having a good round right now, but you know what? He doesn't care because he just keeps on going. Now he's got a shooting gallery for himself, but his teammates are stealing those kills away. Unfortunately, Torben only allowed the one. Fractures with a complete wipeout, keeping all their money alive as well. So Virtus.pro, if they lose this one, they're practically out of the game. Unless they pull a magic rabbit out of their hat with a few deagles, a few CZs, anything else that they can actually afford.
Well, here we go then. Is it going to be the 16-14? Is it going to be overtime? I mean, which way is it going to go? So very hard to call at the moment. Virtus.pro with an incredible start to both halves, in all honesty. Just seems to fall off. Inconsistencies start to run rampant, really, and cracks. Chinks in the armor, maybe I should say. We'll see. Ex-Fragsters still on the back foot for the most part, you know, it feels like, anyway. Despite winning a few in a row, Virtus.pro just had full control this second half for such a long time. We'll see. Slow start once again. I mean, a minute has run down and not a great deal of action coming through. No one wants to be that player to, you know, put a foot wrong at this point. I think that's the thing. So they're all playing very, very passively on both sides.
Well, the Fragsters are congregating, but they do have a lone lurker over in mid, Nodios. Assigned that duty this time. Could be problematic though. Snatchy doesn't have a smoke blocking his path anymore, so Nodios could maybe take him down, but Nodios heard that scope out, so he knows he's safer to start moving through. He could completely lock down this area of the map. In the meanwhile, Miu has to get some work done, but he's been brought down instead. It's all down to Snatchy, and Snatchy's found one. But Snatchy's alone. He knows that he doesn't have any support from his teammate. He's been blocked off by Nodios on the other side, but Snatchy this time he gets a bomb planter out, and Snatchy's got a chance for his team. He keeps on looking. He keeps on peeking. He gets one more. Snatchy's not done yet. Snatchy is carrying them through.
Whew. What a round to come through. I mean, been a bit quiet for a little while there, but steps up above and beyond the Call of Duty with that one. Beautiful stuff. I mean, the full 4K is salt in the wound. He'd pretty much won the round with that kind of first kill to drop the bomb when there was very little time left. But that is Ex-Fragsters' mistake ultimately for just letting things run on too long before making the move into the site. Just changes the whole dynamic when there's only a few seconds left. You have to be very, very, very sure of what you're doing, because otherwise it gets panicked. People try and, you know, overcompensate, get too aggressive. And again, it is that case of you put 1 foot wrong and the whole plan just comes crumbling down. So that's kind of what happened there. We'll see a quick pause coming through, and I would imagine Ex-Fragsters really just needing to calm down after that one. It's those kinds of individual plays that can really, you know, lift up the morale of the team that pulls them off and destroy the morale of the team that gets wrecked by them. So we'll see whether they can bounce back here and take us to overtime. But the full 30 rounds for our first game here today, Tea Time.
It's just how we wanted. It's just how we wanted. But I mean, what an absolute tragedy. The worst possible time for a bomb planter to possibly finally be denied. I think that's the first deny we've seen all game long. And Virtus.pro, they just come out. They come out swinging. Snatchy's just happy. Snatchy's just peeking. He doesn't care. And he makes it work.
Here we are, round number 30. We're going to be going further. Soon to find out. Slight bit of mid-control from Ex-Fragsters, but not really doing a great deal with it as yet. Again, VP for the most part have been fairly happy to give them that mid-control pretty much for free. Snatchy is passively watching things, making sure that maybe no cheeky boost come through. 2 AWPs over on the A site, definitely interesting. Thought Snatchy was going to rotate to B there, but no, they are banking on it being an A hit here quite heavily. Difficult to tell whether they're right or not yet, to be honest, Tea Time. Obviously just playing the default at the moment from Ex-Fragsters and slowly but surely moving that bomb towards middle. But obviously you can go B or A from mid, so who really knows at this point?
They're at a crossroads, but Bialy again, he hasn't done justice to this spot so far, but If VP's telling us anything, it's that they start to put up when it's needed the most. And Bialy, well, he's no different. 38 seconds on the clock. Great time to throw out that Molotov. He's got a flashbang as well. Would love to see him use it right about now to give Snacks some backup. But Snacks doesn't need backup. Snacks needs aim assist. Snatchy, though, in the meanwhile, does come through with 2. Bialy also finding 1, but still alive. And he could look for more as he has repositioned himself over towards Firebox. Great position to take down Nodios. Should he start to peek out? 15 seconds on the clock. They need to hurry things up. 12 on the other side as well. Nodios, though, gets that duel out. In the meanwhile, he does get taken down. So Dragonfly with 2 HP, not left with much to work with. 5 seconds on the clock. Mihu knows he needs to go for this deny, but Dragonfly tries to hold it. Oh my goodness, the stones on that man.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way of putting it, to be fair. But pretty exciting first game. I think VP maybe could have closed it out a bit earlier. They definitely made it hard for them. Every time there was sort of one of those rounds where it's like, right, this is a key round for Ex-Fragsters to win. If they lose this, their economy's not, blah blah blah, and then they end up losing it. So yeah, pretty interesting to see VP though. It's good to see them still in a bit of a fighting chance here in the MDL.
It's always really fun to just see Virtus Pro beasting it out, clutching out rounds, making things work out. But with that said, we're going to be back very soon with the second map. Don't go anywhere. Something tells me it'll be here very soon.